Okay, Shalom, Shalom, Yasha Allah. All right, all praise to Yahweh. Right now, we're in the west coast of Mexico. We're in the 6th day of the week. It's about to be Shabbat in a little while. We're in the 17th month. We're in the 17th day of the month. We're about to go into the 18th day of the month once the sun goes down. We're in the 13th month of the year, and we're 14 days away from the beginning of the new year. 14 more nights, and we'll be in the new year. In 27 more nights and 27 more afternoons, we'll enter into the Passover. And in 28 more nights, we'll enter into the Feast of Unleavened Bread, directly to sunset from the day to do the Pesach, the actual Passover ceremony. We go right into the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which this year will begin on April 18th at sunset. April 18th in the afternoon is the Passover, and April 18th at sunset is the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. April 18th, not 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, not 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, but April 18th in the afternoon is Passover, and in the sunset of that day is the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So make sure we understand that. We have a short little Torah portion. We're going to do the 6th Aliyah, and then we're going to do the 7th Aliyah also, which is going to be Leviticus chapter 20, Leviticus chapter 8, verse 22 through 29 is going to be part 6, and then part 7 is going to be Leviticus chapter 8, verse 30 through 36. And this is Masha inaugurating the Aaron and his sons to become the priest of Yahweh. And we'll start reading. Okay. And he brought near the second ram, the ram of the investiture. Okay, which is the consecration of being set in your office. And Aaron and his sons leaned their hands upon the ram's head, and he slaughtered it. And Masha took some of its blood and placed it on the cartilage of Aaron's right ear, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. And he brought Aaron's sons forward, and Moses placed some of the blood on the cartilage of their right ears, and on the thumbs of their right hands, and on the big toes of their right feet. And Masha dashed the blood on the altar around. And he took the fat, the tail, all the fat which was on the inwards, the diaphragm of the liver, the two kidneys together with their fat, and the right thigh. And out of the basket of unleavened bread that was before Yahweh, he took 1 loaf of unleavened bread, and 1 loaf of oily bread, and 1 wafer, and he placed them on top of the fats and the right thigh. And then he placed it all on Aaron's palms and on his son's palms, and he waved them as a waving before Yahweh. And Masha took them from their hand and made them go up in smoke on the altar along with the burnt offering. They were investiture offerings as a pleasing fragrance, a fire offering to Yahweh. And Masha took the breast and waved it as a waving before Yahweh. It belonged to Masha as a portion from the ram of the investiture, as Yahweh had commanded Masha. All right, so a couple of things we want to point out right here. First of all, we see that no Levite dealing with the priesthood was a vegetarian or a vegan, and none of the families of Aaron and them that partook in these feasts of the sacrifice that were brought up that they could eat were vegetarians or vegan. Other thing we want to bring out is that Aaron took the first position. He is a seniority. He was ranking, so he was put into his office first. So it worked from the top down. All right, so let's look at that. Now we see also that the blood was put on the right ear, the thumb, and the big toe. All right, which means that the blood was not unclean. So blood from those animals was not considered to be tama'ah or unclean, as when a woman is on her period. That blood is different. This was the blood from the animal system after death. The blood from a woman is purging out because there's been no life planted inside of her body. So that blood's being purged out now. All right. So it's like old blood. The blood that we see right here is fresh circulating blood. Okay. And he brought Aaron's sons forward and did the same thing to them on their right ear, right thumb, and right big toe. So their head, their heart, and their finger, their hand, and their feet are all walking and directing and being used for the right thing in the right direction. So we have the right part of the body being used to indicate that. All right. Now he took that fat, which is the kalab, and this stuff was put on the altar. All right, it was put on the altar, and it was the Most High liked how it smelled. So this was to inaugurate them. This was to place them in their office, like their installment or their installment ceremony. All right, so that deals with the sixth portion. Then when we go to the seventh portion, we have 7 verses here. Leviticus chapter 8, verse 30 through 36. And Parashah took some of the anointing oil and some of the blood that was on the altar, and he sprinkled it on Aaron and on his garments and on his sons and on his sons' garments. And he sanctified Aharon, his garments, his sons, and his sons' garments with him. And Parashah said to Aharon and to his sons, cook flesh at the entrance of the tent of meeting and eat it there. And the bread that is in the basket of the investiture offerings, as I have commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. And whatever is left over from the flesh and the bread, you shall burn with fire. And you shall not leave the entrance of the tent of meeting for 7 days, until the day of the completion of your investiture days. He will inaugurate you for 7 days. As he did on this day, so Yahweh has commanded to do, to effect atonement for you. And you shall stay day and night 7 days at the entrance of the tent of meeting. You shall observe Yahweh's command, so that you will not die, for thus I was commanded. And Aharon and his sons did all the things that Yahweh commanded Parashah. Okay, so now we see that that oil was put onto their garments. All right, so when the oil was put onto their garments, of course, the oil got onto their clothes. A shalom icon. The oil got onto their clothes. So the Most High didn't mind that there was some oil stains on their clothes from this holy anointing oil. All right, so if the clothes got stained with the oil when they got put into their office, you know, so be it. Moses made it, sprinkled it around the garment, you know, and it gets little decorative spots or something, we don't know. But he went Aaron's garments and the garments of the sons of Aaron. So cook you eat this flesh. So no Levites out there dealing in the family of Aaron to do the priest job were vegans or vegetarians. They had to eat the meat. So now they're eating the meat, and they also had unleavened bread that they were eating also. And whatever was left, we burned it in the fire like we have to do for the Pesach, the Passover also. The Most High told us to burn the flesh that was left over in the morning of what we had cooked for the Passover. Now, they had to be in the process of being put into their office for 7 days. So 7 days, they went from being a regular common man to now, once these 7 days are complete, you're going to be a bona fide fledged priest of the Most High under the Aaronic system, under the system that Yahweh showed Moses to set up Aharon and the sons of Aharon. It wasn't just, I'm a Levite, I'm a priest, so that's that. Wasn't like that. Or they had to stay inside of the tent of meeting for 7 days. They did not leave to the outside world. They had to stay in a place that was set apart to Yahweh for 7 days. Okay? So now, and you shall stay day and night for 7 days at the entrance of the tent of meeting. So they could not leave. All right? So this is the process that they went to become those priests. Okay, the priests of Yahweh. All right, so that's what we had to do. So we got some connection issues going on with YouTube, with Facebook, as you can see. YouTube is fine. YouTube is fine. All right, we're gonna continue going because I want to go back into the 6th portion. All right, I want to go back into the 6th portion. All right, Shalom, Shalom, Hezekiah. I want to go back into the 6th portion right here, okay? Right, in that 6th portion, notice it talks about a second ram. Now, that's the 2 rams that we also see throughout the year. The first ram we see on in the month when the Passover starts, which is the 1st month, and then the second ram we see when we get into the 7th month to celebrate the memorial, the Feast of Tabernacles, and we see that the constellation, the moon, is in the ram constellation again. All right, so that's what we got for right now. You know, we see it's over now. You know, I'll come back and maybe go over that in a little while, but that's what we got for now. All right, we're gonna end it. You know, like I said, Facebook is acting funny. We finished on the YouTube, so I thank everybody that was able to participate. May the Most High Yahweh be with you. In the name of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Allahayna Yahweh Chad. All right, Yabarakakam Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Shalom Lakam.